I'm surveying in Cheltenham at the moment on the main municipal building. We did the fancy front part in January, and we're doing the back part. The first night was really weird because I'm trying to use electrical hookup, trying to use the hookup to heat the water, and it's just there's an awful lot to take in. But after a couple of days, you soon realise that it's all fairly kind of basic stuff. The shower in here, it's not very powerful, but it gets really hot, and it's brilliant. It's actually perfect really for this. And the bed, how I've raised it up, is working out really well. The first night I had a nightmare with condensation, and my sort of 30-minute drive into work into the middle of Cheltenham, but I had both the front windows open and the heater on full belt, and I couldn't actually clear the condensation from the screen, and it was just like a rookie mistake, just having a shower, opening the door too early afterwards and not having the vent right open. So condensation management seems to be a huge thing in camper vans, but by having all your vents open when you're cooking and having the main vent open in the shower, it sort of seems to resolve that quite easily. So it's really good fun, and I'm absolutely loving this. It's just it feels so right, it after all the some of the times when you're trying to make things happen, you can start questioning why you're doing this. And it's been a bit challenging driving it around, and having people dart up inside you because you're just not as nimble as you are in a car. But you just have to kind of plan ahead a little bit, and so it's working out really well. I'm absolutely loving this. Yeah, I've just cooked some food. I'm just going to eat that. Going to chill out, do a few bits and pieces on my laptop, do some reading, get another early night. I'm gradually getting over this cold, this cough. The cough's easing off a bit, and it's the body's sort of starting to feel a little bit more energized. I think it's been quite good to get back to work and do a load of abseiling and walking up and down stairs. I'm getting really out of breath just walking up staircases at the moment, but what I would say to anyone who's contemplating van life, I know it's all new to me at the moment, and there will be some tough times ahead, I'm sure, but when you go through those periods where things are getting really tough, just trying to organize everything from insurance and finding the right van, just keep going at it, because it's well worth it in the end. It's just so much fun. Getting lots of flashbacks to when I was a kid, and family used to hire motorhomes and stuff like that. It's just so cool. So anyway, just a little short message here, but yeah, that's the state of play at the moment. Just a bit of a van life update. I just haven't got time to do these videos at the moment because of moving out of the house into a van, putting stuff into storage. Last week I was surveying for 4 days in Cheltenham on the municipal building, main offices in the centre of town, and then this week I'm writing the report up, juggling that with trying to get stuff sorted out with the house. Yesterday I managed to secure a small storage room, and I put about 90% of my belongings that I need to store in there now, which means just before I move out of here, will take my bed over. I'll start dismantling my bed and a few other boxes of bits and pieces that I need between now and then still aiming to be out of the house on the 31st of May. There has been a bit of a problem with the van, unfortunately, in that I've noticed that it seems the synchro mesh is a bit worn in first, second and third gear. When the engine's cold, it's almost impossible to get it into second and third gear without it crunching a bit. And I thought maybe that was just me not used to the gearbox, but I've tried the last couple of times really hard to gently kind of put it into gear, and it's just not having it. So I've spoken to Highbridge, and now next Monday, I've got to get it to Newton Abbot for 8 o'clock in the morning, and then there's a guy there called Colin at CR Motors is going to check the gearbox and the clutch. He thinks it's probably gearbox. It's covered by warranty, and Highbridge are happy to cover any work. It sounds like the gearbox is going to have to come out and have some work on it. If it's the clutch, they can do it in a day, which means I just have to drive it there and spend a day kind of in or around Newton Abbot. I could go for a ride on my bike or something. If it's the gearbox, it's going to take 2 days, and it means I'll need to find some accommodation in Newton Abbot. So I'm sort of just speaking with work now and seeing whether they'll pay for me to get a premiere in or something for 2 days, and I need to be writing a report that week. Yeah, so the first week anyway was going to be, you know, writing a report in the van while finding places to stay, and now this looks as though it's going to be an added complication. And it's funny, I thought I'd get really stressed out if anything like this happened, but it's kind of like I'm quite fatalistic about stuff like this. You know, it's just got to find a way of doing it, and it means that if it is the gearbox and it has work done on it, then you know, I'll have a good gearbox for as long as I have the van. So that's a plus thing. It is a pain in the ass, but you know, it's just one of those things. So it's another kind of unplanned, unforeseen issue. But because I'm so far, you know, I'm well ahead of the game with packing and storage and stuff like that, it means, you know, I can hopefully fit it all in or deal with it. So yeah, it's just under 2 weeks now before I move out. I'll probably end up editing all these videos after I've moved into it. It depends. There might be a little bit of time before I move out if there's a little gap in work, but I'm not sure there will be at the moment because a lot of work's just come in. So it's a bit of a juggling act. It's a bit stressful. It's quite trying, but it's just one of those kind of more of those obstacles you have to overcome if you want to do something like this. And so, you know, it's just the way it is. My cough is finally getting better after 4 weeks. I'm still coughing a little bit, and I have kind of sprained my kind of chest muscles a little bit, and so I've just been doing some stretching this morning. I've had a back and chest issue for about a year, and it's just aggravated that again. It was getting quite a lot better, you know, because I wasn't able to train so much. So I'm just waiting for this window of opportunity to arise so I can just start training again on a regular basis and just try and get strong again. So, but it's, you know, just have to be patient and just get all this done, get all this stuff done, get into the van, and then I can just settle into this new way of life and, you know, work my sort of exercise regimes around being in the van, finding places to stay and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it is quite challenging at the moment, but I'm very positive I can get through it okay. And yeah, just have to keep my head down and keep moving forwards. Right, I'll catch up with you soon. It's Monday the 22nd of May, so it's about a week before I move into the van. I'm currently at the Gloucester services, which is about halfway. I think I've got about another 90 miles of my journey to do. I booked into a campsite near Ashby Zouch because I'm surveying the castle there for 3 days on behalf of the company I work for and for English Heritage. And the campsite, I think it's only about 3 miles away from site, so I should be able to get there around about 1 o'clock, and then plan to have a little bit of lunch and then either cycle or jog in to the castle to meet up with my colleagues who are there doing some work. But I've just been in this morning and had the gearbox and the clutch checked, and was half expecting that I was going to have to get a hotel for 2 days and have the gearbox taken out and rebuilt within the first few days of moving into it. But it looks like it's the clutch is the issue, and they can do it in a day. And apparently if I take it in about 7:30 in the morning, it should be done by about 2 in the afternoon, so I can just go off on my mountain bike fairly close to the edge of Dartmoor. I could just sort of go for a little bike and then a run, lock my bike up to the fence or something and do a little run and come back. Don't know, I'll work that out near the time. But so that's a bit of a relief, and that's booked in for the 1st of June, which is the first I'm moving out of the house on the 31st, so that'll be the first full day that I'm in the van having the clutch replaced. But it's all done under warranty, and Highbridge have been great about it. And these guys, CR Motors in Newton Abbot, they're brilliant. They're very good at diagnosis, really up for the challenge, you know, getting it done. So yeah, so now as I said, I'm sat in this services that there's a couple of Racing to Citroen 2 CV cars you can see behind me. I've just had a quick chat with the guys that own those. I saw their t-shirts and a little chat about their racing. So, and that's one of the things that's really lovely about this, is that, you know, if you make the effort to talk to people, you can you know, have lots of really interesting chats with people. And I found this morning I was chatting to a guy. There wasn't much room at this place, so I had to park outside a little workshop. They do general kind of car repairs, but also he races Hondas, and we got chatting about his car. It's just really fascinating. Just, you know, when you get out there on the road and you start moving around, you know, there's so many opportunities to meet people, and I just haven't had that recently in Exeter, and it's been bugging me for the last few years. Yeah, so in this little car park, which is like a motorhome and caravan spot, parking car park away from the main car park, and it's a bit quieter here. And I'll show you, I'll turn the camera on in a minute, but actually I'm sat here, I've got the window open behind me, I've got my habitation door open, and I'm just looking out onto these nice reed beds and trees. You can hear the motorway a little bit behind me, but you know, this, if you're on a long journey, this sort of place wouldn't be a bad spot just to stop for the night, especially if you were traveling a long way and just really tired and just needed to stop and get your head down. So it kind of fills me with more confidence about doing this, because, you know, when I came into here, I didn't really know where I was supposed to park the motorhome, and now I'm sitting here chilling, eating some sandwiches, and I've just bought a cup of coffee, and I'm just going to chill here for half an hour or so and then throw up. The thing, there's been a bit of an issue with the van, and the fact that it's very difficult to put cruise control onto it, and because I'll be doing quite a lot of miles in it, it can be quite painful on the leg, and you know, it puts your hip out of balance a little bit. But I figured, I come from a rock climbing background, and I climbed for like 20 years and climbed extensively in quite a lot in Europe and Morocco and places like that, and I realized that you can actually use a knee bar to take some of the strain off your hip when you're ascending quite long hills on the motorway, and you know, you have to push the throttle down quite hard to keep it at that speed. But I realized that if I bring my knee in, I can actually wedge it against the steering column, and it takes 90% of the force off the hip, and you just have to point your toe down. So that was an absolute result for me this morning. So, and that's lovely, you know, getting to know the van and you know what's going on. Because of the age of the van, it doesn't have a fly-by-wire accelerator, so it's very difficult for them to just do an electronic type of cruise control. Apparently there is one that uses a second cable on the throttle, which freaks me out a little bit, but and I don't know if that responds to hills and things, but that's something further down I can look into further down the line, because it would make it so much more, you know, more pleasant to drive on long journeys. But you know, it's all part of the journey, all part of the getting used to the van and adapting. Yeah, I'm just gonna chill here for a bit longer, drink my coffee, and then make my way up to this campsite. So I just thought I'd give you a little update. I've actually decided, because I'm about an hour and a half from the campsite, and if I carry straight on, I'm just gonna get there too early. I won't actually be able to get into the campsite, so I can't get into 1. So I've just come and I'm just chilling out on my bed at the moment. I've just opened the vent, and I'm just having a little bit of a relax. And you know, I am 58, and I did get up at about 5:45 this morning to get the van checked early, so I think I've deserved this. I'm just having a little chuckle to myself, because it's just so nice to be able to just pull over in the van and just lie down on your bed, which is, I could do it in my old Skoda Octavia. After long runs on a Sunday, I would lie down in the back of my car, but people would walk by thinking I wasn't very well or something. But here it seems a bit more acceptable. Not that I give a shit, but yeah, I just thought I'd share this with you. Okay, got it. I didn't even think about how long it took me. I just drove here, and it's a very pleasant spot.
just cycled into Ashby to Zouch, it's about 5 miles, and I've just come to the castle here, and just having a quick look at what I've got to survey in 3 days. There's quite a lot of it, but I'm starting to sort of work out, which areas to focus on. I mean, behind me, all this stuff here. So we'll ping ropes over the top with a catapult, and then I'll ascend up and have a good look at them. So there's all this kind of stuff here behind me. There's another big tower here. So that's my job for the next 3 days. So I'm on a bit of a jolly, really. I'm not actually getting paid for today, but it's always good to get slightly ahead of the game. I'm just going to sit down with one of the other guys, Dave, and have a look on his laptop and see what they've been doing.